All right, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, March 11th meeting of the Arroyo Grande City Council. Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Lowe.
Here.
Councilmember Marvelia.
Here.
Councilmember Guthrie.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Seacrest.
Here.
Mayor Ray Russum.
Here. Would you silently join me in a moment of reflection, please? Thank you. And would you please join me in the flag salute? And at this time, our city clerk is going to make an announcement.
Thank you, Mayor. So as we strive to have various technical options for people to attend remotely, we are having some technical issues with our Zoom platform for our remote public comment portion. However, anyone wanting to watch remotely can view through our website at www.arroyogrande.org and also the city's YouTube channel. And this meeting is being recorded.
Thank you for that. We do our best, but okay. Item 5, we have agenda review. For first thing is, do we have any reason to reorder anything? And seeing no objections, we'll proceed as published. For items 5A, we don't have closed session announcement. For 5B, I'll move that ordinances presented at the meeting be read in title only and all further readings be waived.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries 5-0. That takes us to the fun part, special presentations. This is introduction and oath of office for Police Officer Jessika Reif, and I will invite up our chief. Welcome, Chief. Nice to see everyone here tonight.
Gender review, and I thought you said gender review. I was like, wow, it's going to be awesome tonight. Anyhow. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. I am excited to share with you that you will soon be seeing a new member joining the Arroyo Grande Police Department patrolling our streets. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our latest member of the Arroyo Grande Police Department family, Officer Jessika Reif. Officer Reif graduated from the Ellen Hancock College Law Enforcement Academy in 2018. She joined as a lateral transfer after serving as a sheriff's deputy for our neighbors at the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. Officer Reif is excited to transition from a tan and green uniform to a blue one, joining members who she graduated with from her police academy class. Officer Reif's decision to join AGPD came with the support of her friends and family, including her husband Cameron, her son Jack, and her daughter Rio. A few side notes to share. Officer Reif manages and plays for an adult women's soccer league here in San Luis Obispo. She's excited about the day when she will be a team mom and help coach her children in soccer as well. I would also like to add that her son is a big fan of Chase, the police dog from Paw Patrol. And he is incredibly excited for her to begin the next chapter of her law enforcement career here with the Arroyo Grande Police Department. So without any more discussion, I would like to invite Officer Reif up and her husband here for the oath of office.
Yeah, right here's good. Okay, thank you. Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Jessica Reif,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is. Yes, sir. Awesome. Congratulations. Welcome, Jessica.
Would you like to say anything, Jessica?
Sure.
All right. So my name is Jessica Reif. I want to thank my husband and my kids and family and friends for being here, and thank you all for including me in your agenda to get me sworn in. I appreciate it. So a little about me. I grew up in the city of Riverside, and before I moved here, and then I started the beginnings of my career at the academy at Allen Hancock in 2018. I graduated and then worked for County Sheriff's Department, where I grew to love working in law enforcement. As the years passed, I got married and my family grew, which I'm sure you can hear them back there. So I needed to find an agency who supported my desire to put my family first. And last year I was looking for opportunities to lateral. My mentors and friends and all the stars were aligning to send me to AG, so I applied. I met with Commander Culver and Commander Ayala, and they explained the values of AGPD and the relationship with the city. And I was floored by the resources, the resources, the morale, the overall positive outlook, and the emphasis that AGPD is a team and a family. I think I said wow like 8 times. I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm just. So I get through backgrounds and I get hired, and I started working in January of this year, and I got an immediate, overwhelmingly welcoming response by all the officers and the staff working at AGPD. And then I head over to HR to do all my paperwork and stuff, and I got the warmest welcome there. I'm generally pretty smiley in general, and everyone was like happier than I was. I was like, wow. When I was doing that, I got dropped off there by my training officer because he was working while I was doing all my HR stuff, and it happened to be the day of the city's employee appreciation lunch. So I was standing outside waiting for a ride to go to the lunch, and city manager, Mr. Downing, sees me out there. He's like, hey, do you need a ride? And I was like, no, he's coming for me, but thank you. So that level of courtesy just was something I hadn't seen before. And it was very comforting to know that that was what I was getting into. And I get to the luncheon having only been here since breakfast. And everyone recognized that I wasn't from there, but rather than being like, oh, she's new, like everybody came and introduced themselves, and I felt bad because I learned so many names and I'm still keeping track of who's who. But it was just very overwhelming how welcoming everybody was. So growing up in a big city and then coming from a bigger agency, I was being recognized more as a body number and not what your name is and how you pronounce your name. And this here is the exact opposite of that, and I'm kind of bummed that I didn't know we were here sooner. But I'm very happy to be here now, and thank you for having me.
Well, Officer Reif, I'm, first of all, I always say welcome to the family, but it's clear to me you already know that I mean that when I say it. And while I didn't know you before tonight, I am quite sure that you look better in blue than green. All right, this takes us to item 6B, City Manager Communications.
I will continue to complain about my item on this agenda always following those really good, feel-good moments, but you know, it is what it is. So welcome to the team. and happy to have you with us. So, Madam Mayor, members of council, Matt Downing, your city manager. A couple of updates for you this evening. Your Arroyo Grande Police Department, beyond being in the room, recently had 2 different audits of the police department's operations occur. Representatives from both the Commission on California Peace Officer Standards and Training, as well as the Department of Justice, evaluated that the department met state and federal requirements on a range of different topics. That includes training standards, hiring standards, reviewing different policies, and overall building security. Following that visit, Chief Martinez received a report complimenting the agency on its full compliance with state and federal requirements, and our sincerest appreciation to Commander Dave Culver for leading the audits and securing that glowing evaluation. So thank you, Commander Culver. Now, over in our fire department, the Five Cities Fire Authority does want to make the public aware of an upcoming training burn that's being conducted by County Fire over on Corralitos Drive. That's just east of the city, for anybody who's wondering. That prescribed burn will occur on March 17th through March 21st. And it will also be a live fire training opportunity. So they don't always get to practice live drills and how do we recover people and different things with live fire in a live environment like that. So that will be a live fire training designed to develop and reinforce essential fire ground skills. So our residents will likely see smoke in the air from that area. It is meant to be there. It's a training. It's a prescribed burn. So if you hear anything, please feel free to pass them on to Chief Hallett. And then lastly, we are looking at some weather later starting tonight into tomorrow, with the majority being tomorrow, being Wednesday. We will see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches over this coming storm system, and we will see gusts of 20 to 35 miles per hour for wind. So be careful as you're out and about for both the council and the public. Watch out for trees, watch out for limbs, and if you see something, give us a call and let us know if we need to respond somewhere. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Let's see if the council has questions. All right, then that will conclude item 6B, and we'll move on to item 7. We do not have reports this week because we do that at the second meeting of the month. So that takes us straight to community comments and suggestions. Item 8, this is your chance to come talk to the council about things that are not on tonight's agenda. So if you would like to speak on things that are not on tonight's agenda, please do come to the podium. You can address the council as one body and keep your comments to 60 seconds or less. Would anyone like to speak on items not on tonight's agenda? And seeing no one, before I close it, I'll just double check that we're not online right now.
We are working on it, but we are not. But I do want to make a statement. Anybody who would like to make a public comment and is not in the room can submit a public comment to publiccomment@arroyogrande.org, and I'll watch that email box.
Great. So how about I leave public comment open until the end of the meeting tonight, and then if anything comes in there, we'll give that 60 seconds if something comes in.
Thank you.
Great. So leaving public comment open at this time so people have the chance to write in and give us their points of view. We'll move on to items 9. This is collectively consent agenda with items 9A through 9I. So first I'll check in with the council and see if there's anything to be pulled for questioning or separate consideration. I know we have at least one.
Yeah, I would like to pull item 9I.
Okay. And anyone else? Okay, go ahead and state your concern, I guess.
Oh, I just need to recuse myself from that particular item. I have a relationship with one of the nonprofits that is being considered for a grant. It's not a financial interest or anything, but I would like to recuse myself from that item.
Okay, great. So the rules on these sorts of things is when it's a public hearing item, they need to leave the room, but in this case, she can stay at the dais. So we'll move on with the rest of the items. So we will pull that for separate consideration. So at this time, I'll go ahead and open up public comment for items 9A through 9I. So you can comment on any of the consent agenda items, even though we'll maybe be making decisions on them in 2 separate motions. Anyone have any comments on any of the items 9? All right, we'll close public comment and bring this back to the council. Council on items 9A through 9H. Any discussion or motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve items 9A through 9H and a second. Any discussion? All right, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Lowe,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seacrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Marvelia,
Yes.
Councilmember Guthrie,
Yes.
Mayor Ray Russom.
Yes. And for item I,
I just have a comment since you pulled it. I just want to say thank you to the folks that evaluated this, all 25 applications. I know that's it takes some work and some analysis, and I just want to thank the committee for going through that. And I'm happy that there were some tough decisions that had to be made. But I support them, and I think this is a great program for the city to support some of these nonprofits in our community. I wish there was even more money available, but I know this is a tough time, and I know it was a tough process to come about, and I just want to say thank you.
thank you. I was going to do the same and even told the city manager ahead of time so he can back me up. But I want to put some numbers to this too. There were over $180,000 worth of requests and we only earmarked 75,000. So tough decisions had to get made. I went through each and every one of those applications and I just appreciate I can only imagine how long that meeting took to get through the nitty gritty of that and all of the decisions that had to be made of who could and could not get either full, partial, or no parts of that money. So that was really hard. I appreciate the committee as the rest of the council does. And now I've already forgotten do we have a motion in a second or do we only have comments? Would anyone like to make a motion on item 9I?
Move approval.
I'll second.
All right, and we kind of did discussion. Any other discussion? All right, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Lowe,
Yes.
Councilmember Guthrie.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seacrest,
Yes.
Mayor Ray Russom.
Yes. All right, that takes us straight into item 10, amendments to Title 13 of the Arroyo Grande Municipal Code regarding the regulation of water wells. Mr. Pedrati, I see you've come from behind the curtain early tonight.
Yes, thank you.
All right, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Russum and council members. Brian Pedrati, Community Development Director. So tonight, we are looking at amendments to Title 13, which is the regulation of wells. The city regulates the creation of new wells and the destruction of existing or abandoned wells in Chapter 13.08. During hearings associated with consideration of a domestic well application in 2024, the city council and staff noted that the ordinance would benefit from an update, and specifically looking at clarification of the well permit process, some of the definitions, and identifying clearer responsibilities. So some of the summary of some of the changes include the purpose and intent statement, which was expanded to include prevention of depletion and adverse impacts to the city's water supply, adverse impacts to health and safety, and welfare of the city's residents and visitors. We also looked at refined definitions, some such as the agricultural well, private domestic well, a new section that formalizes the process of well destruction. And then staff reached out to county staff to ensure that it reflects the actual permitting process that they go through as well. In addition to that, in terms of permitting process, the Planning Commission was made the approving body with the City Council as the appeal hearing. In terms of connection restrictions, that was revised as well, looking at private irrigation and ag wells must demonstrate no contamination or impact the volume and distribution. And then in addition, private domestic wells must additionally demonstrate that the city water service cannot reasonably be provided. So overall, the well ordinance is meant to provide a more robust and clear regulatory framework to protect the city's water supply and align with state laws. And so staff has recommended introduction of the ordinance, amending Chapter 13.08, and finding that the ordinance is exempt from CEQA. And that concludes staff's presentation.
All right, let's see if the council has questions. Councilmember Marvelia, any questions? Councilmember Lowe? Mr. Guthrie?
So the primary issue in the well, the well application that prompted this was the question of feasibility. What have we done to clarify for both the applicants and for now the planning commission what feasibility to hook up to the city water supply is.
Yes, so, thank you. There are 3 findings that the planning commission has to make for all wells. Those include that it can't have an adverse impact on public health or safety. A refusal to grant the well permit would cause unnecessary hardship to the applicant, and then special circumstances apply due to its size, shape, topography, location, or surroundings, which makes it impractical or infeasible to connect to the city's water supply. In addition, for private domestic wells, the applicant needs to demonstrate that city water service cannot be reasonably provided because they are unable to cross private property due to the inability to get access easements and things like that. So we're hoping that's more of a clear set of findings and conditions.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem?
No, just comment.
All right, and I asked my questions beforehand, so let's go ahead and open up public comment. Would anyone like to comment on item 10A? And I assume we still do not have online and I also want to check in if there's written online comment.
We do not have any written comment.
Okay, great. So we'll close public comment, bring this back to the council for discussion and commentary. So how about we start on this side this time? Councilmember Lowe? Councilmember Guthrie?
Yeah, I do. I do think that it's important that we reviewed this. I'll be honest, I'd hope for a little more robust discussion on feasibility, but I realize it's one of those. Sometimes the more clear it is, the more difficult it is to actually interpret. So I'm certainly in favor of it. I think we've made a good faith effort here to clarify it, but and I will be supporting it.
Councilmember Marvelia?
No comments.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem, you said you had comments?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Pedrati and everyone that worked on this. Sorry about my voice. The city obviously has many, many ordinances and laws that everyone's dealing with. I think this one, the lab was last updated in 1978, if I remember correctly. And the reason I know, of course, is because this was a big deal last year when we had the lawsuit. I just appreciate that it is now clear. I think that serves everyone. It serves the residents. They will understand exactly what the guidelines are. And I just think we've closed some loopholes, and I applaud the effort. So thank you very much.
And piggybacking on that, I hear Isaac had a little bit to do with that, so I want him to get some credit where credit is due. So staff did a really great job here. And I also want to just kind of say to the public, again, that's a 50-year window there. So it needed to be done. We're glad that we learned some lessons last year, but also that it's absolutely impossible for an ordinance to anticipate every single situation. And I think that's what you meant by clarity is actually unclear. That if you try and zero in that laser-like focus, then you end up having unintended consequences. So I think you've struck the right balance here, and I'll be supporting it tonight too. Would someone else like to make a motion?
I'll move adoption of an ordinance amending Chapter 13.08 of the Arroyo Grande Municipal Code regarding regulations for the installation of maintenance and destruction of wells, and find the ordinance is exempt from CEQA because it will not result in direct or reasonably foreseeable indirect physical change to the environment.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, may we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Guthrie,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Seacrest,
Yes.
Councilmember Lowe,
Yes.
Councilmember Marvelia,
Yes.
Mayor Ray Ressam.
Yes, and just like that, we are at item 11, business items, of which we have none. So that takes us to item 12, council communications. Does anyone on the council have communications this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to acknowledge all the work that went into the goal setting meeting that we all participated in. I think that was really helpful and a really positive experience for everybody understanding maybe what everyone else is dealing with and just setting those priorities. I also want to give a shout out to the Community Service Grants Committee. I think they did an amazing job, and I remember from last year, they must have worked pretty hard on coming up with a framework for how to prioritize. Because I mean, if you've looked at the grants, which I know everyone has, there's a lot of different things out there that could use some help. But how do you decide between feeding seniors and helping the dog park? It's kind of, I think Jared Worthen said something like, it's kind of like asking him to compare apples and oysters or something. So anyway, I think they did an amazing job, so appreciate that. Just in terms of what I did, I have worked again with the Citizens Oversight Committee for the general plan update, and I appreciate Mr. Pedrati's leadership of that, and I think that it was a really positive meeting the other night. We have a really smart group that's really involved with some really great ideas. And completely different topic, but I was also a judge for the Lions Club Student Speaking Contest last.
So fun.
It is. It's great. And yes, and they all did a great job. And it's so impressive because you probably know, it's a statewide effort. So, and I think they've been doing it for about 64 years. And so this is just the beginning locally, but then it goes on to different districts and bigger. And eventually, at least one of the winners statewide will get over $20,000 in scholarships. Plus, it's just, I think, obviously a great experience.
What was the topic?
AI, friend or foe. I know, it was a little alarming, then it was not alarming, then it was okay. So anyway, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, and I will thank in advance the staff members, Mr. Downing, and our two city council members, Mayor Pro Tem and Mr. Guthrie, in advance for going to League of Cities this Friday and representing the city. I'm sorry that I cannot be there, but I just appreciative that we are not going to get booed by the other cities for not having a presence there. So I hope it's valuable. Look forward to hearing from it next time, or about it next time. So with that, that takes us all the way to, God, it's been so long tonight. Item 13, adjournment. Again, to everyone listening, we're sorry about technical difficulties. We hope to have those, yes.
Mayor Resum, we
Yeah.
do have public
Oh,
comment
I
still
have to-
open.
Yes, thank you for that.
I can report that we're on Zoom, just in time to adjourn. We don't have any attendees on Zoom, and I do not have any written public comment, and no one registered for the Zoom meeting tonight, so that's a good sign.
Well, then I will officially close public comment. That is unusual. Thank you for the reminder. And with that, everyone, we'll see you in 2 weeks.